What if they began putting on, live shows, and before we knew it, just like Disney, we were going to see Mario on Ice.
Put that. Oh no. Oh no, it's a computer virus. It'll release all the evil forces stored up in the computer.
And we know how evil they can be.
Who could have done such a dastardly thing?
The Koopa virus is on the loose. And you know how painful that can be. I think this is a job for plumbers. Oh.
Originally, when I sat down to do this video, I was really wanting to do a full review of Star Fox Zero, because I did my first impressions video, and yeah, I accomplished some of what I set out to do there, but I felt like there was really more to say about Star Fox Zero. Then, E3, Zelda, Breath of the Wild happened, a lot of news came out, and Star Fox Zero, it kind of has been brushed under the rug a little bit, or to the side at the very least. And Zelda got me thinking. Nintendo's been taking a lot of chances. They've been taking a lot of risks for a long time. With Star Fox Zero, yeah, we've had some issues with the controls, and we could talk about that some other time. I actually didn't have a real issue with those, but a common talking point around the internet for Star Fox Zero for a while was the idea that, you know what? This is a 1990s style game, and it's being released in 2016, and there was this question, does that really work? And then Zelda Breath of the Wild came along, and people almost unanimously have agreed, holy cow, that is an amazing game, and it's an open world Zelda game, which is the primary difference there that differentiates Breath of the Wild from many of the other classic Zelda titles. That kind of got me thinking further as well. They just made Zelda a lot more like Metroid, and then when you go back and you think about Star Fox Zero, maybe what a lot of people would have really liked about Star Fox Zero is if it would have been more of an open world game. Because open world is really, really awesome, and people really love it. That's been something that's been demonstrated with a lot of some of the best-selling titles in the past 10 years. So that's interesting because that kind of produces this idea that the gaming industry, or games in general, are just going in this direction that I don't know if we're really talking about as gamers. This direction of, let's just create these alternate universes to go explore. Let's create these other places so that I can go check them out. Let's make everything about discovery, not necessarily about challenges and high score and skill, but let me just go explore this alternate world that has its own set of physics laws and ways in which the wildlife behaves, and that goes counter to everything that has really delivered traditional games to us for so long, and all of the classics. Pac-Man, the original Mario games, Tetris, all of these games are about skill, and they all function linearly in a straight line. I really think that there may be something that we're actually losing. Maybe there's something that we're missing by going this open world direction. Everyone loves the open world direction, and don't get me wrong, I love it too. It is awesome. I wish I could see more vast, gigantic open world games. It's a great direction to go for Star Fox Zero not to have 100% of the time 360 degrees of control. That is to say, as it's called in the game, all range mode all the time. For it not to have that is kind of a huge detraction, I think, in a lot of modern gamers' minds, because they're so used to the idea that when they get dropped into an environment, they rely on the rest of the game world to stop them from going outside the bounds of whatever that world is. In the case of an open world, that might be a huge giant ocean that you can never reach the end of, it might be huge mountains. Star Fox Zero, I think you gave people all range mode all the time, where they could just fly anywhere. If there was a secret path they missed, you could just turn around and fly into it. If there was somewhere they needed to go in the Lilat system, you could just fly there. I think if you would have given people that ability, kind of like Star Fox Adventures could have done, but it ended up just being like a weak, ironically, Zelda clone at the time, things might have turned out dramatically differently as far as the critical response to Star Fox Zero. So it's not that Star Fox Zero it's not that it has a problem by being a quote-unquote 90s style of game in the year 2016. What it is I think in the back of people's minds, we have moved in this direction now, where Zelda has been made more like Metroid, in the sense that it's open world. You can go anywhere at any time, you can do anything, you can backtrack, you can collect these power-ups, or you can choose not to collect the power-ups and risk it all and go straight for the end. That's the direction that everything is going. Everything is going open world. Everything is just transforming into this idea that, you know what, this isn't about levels or points or challenges or skills or high scores or any of that. This is about exploring alternate universes. I want a world that mimics this one. I want to be able to go places I'm not normally able to go in real life. I want to fly through the sky. I want to go into caves. I want to climb mountains. All these things that, you know what? In reality, I don't want to actually go through the effort of doing these things. I want an open world experience. And for the open world experience, I might want a sci-fi themed one where there's laser beams, because laser beams are beautiful. Or I want a medieval theme where I have bows and arrows and catapults or swords and shields or whatever, just like Zelda has, right? So that's where we're all trying to go now. And I don't think that anyone's having a discussion as to whether or not the gaming industry or gamers in general even should be going this route, because all of the classics that really introduce gaming to the masses and to us, most of us anyway, were very, very linear, challenging, skill-based experiences. And now, it's almost like we're always moving away from that. How are game developers gonna always pay for that? Games have already gotten crazy expensive for AAA titles. I mean, there's games now with $200 million budgets, and that's just absolutely crazy when you think about what we sort of started as back in the late 1980s or the 70s or the 90s. As gaming experiences get bigger and more giant and the universes get more elaborate, everything is getting crazy difficult to do for developers. So how do they pay for it? Well, they pay for it with DLC, because you can't just make a giant world to explore. That world has to be beautiful too. It has to be VR ready. That might be why we're seeing free-to-play, microtransactions, any way that they can squeeze more money out of the gamer to get the gamer what they want, they're probably going to try and do. Are we actually missing out on something really, really great about those linear, challenging, top score based experiences? The 90s arcade shooter, the Street Fighter II, the classic games where it's all about a really, really simple concept and you're just there to have fun, you're just there to have a good time. But now, it's always about an alternate universe, it's about escapism, it's about realism, it's about drama, and it's kind of weird, right? Like, to go from everything during one era where everything was kind of based around colors and characters and happiness, and now, what is it based on? Alternate worlds, having a second life in a virtual world, and I don't know, you know? Maybe I'm wrong, maybe this is not where gaming is going, maybe that's not what people want. Why don't you let me know? Leave a comment on this video as to what you think. What is the direction that we're going? Is it open world everything? And if you like the video and you want to see more about the future of the gaming industry and gaming in general, remember to like this video and subscribe. I will see you next time.
I don't believe it.
What is it?
Nintendo!
You want to play?
I'd love to play. Thank you very much. Look, Nintendo!